outside of
Hurrah, more Corky bands. Oriana, Vi, Rakan, and guess what? Now we have a Maokai first pick on the other side. Maokai stonks through the roof in this game. Basin Lehens taking the Milio, Lucian, and Varus Ashe. So back to Tristana in the mid lane, so implying another AP jungler. We're going to save R5 for jungle here. Ivern ban, but that doesn't stop the brand, or maybe even the Talia for coming through. Nope, just JK. I guess Keen's going to play an AP top laner.
Set up for him, obviously, though, and he's going to have a lot
Gragas? Rumble? All right. Fair enough.
It'll just be the Rumble to come through. Honestly, for the
very low Rumble priority in this series, strangely.
You really need to be in control from start to finish if you're going to be playing like that.
Maokai come back. They let. It's still kind of irking me.
Yeah, it is. It was extremely strong, and it would have.
They contested 4th Drake for Soul on the red side jungle when DK had Baron. Yeah, it was a little rough for sure. I think like you can definitely see that GenG needs to know when to back off in those situations, especially because it was a Chemtech Soul. It's like, what's the point? Don't lose the game because you really want to get that 4th Drake. You can give it up and find better opportunities to yourself for yourself.
Again, this is what you do at level 1. You have to do something,
especially when you've been kind of winning the game the whole time.
Run away with the lane. Yeah. Even a ward to try to spot this out, and it's just not going to be under the control. It's Milio.
And they spot the fact that Tristana is now in mid. And you can see the Dplus very well aware of the dangers. Showmaker is going to find more success than, you know, the majority of other people playing Azir.
Both junglers starting top as well, and will path down to relieve that pressure here. But you could already see the oppression.
Yeah.
You know, can favor Dplus quite massively, especially if they can get this poke going. Campfire will mitigate some of it here, but you could already see the oppression.
Yeah.
And this allows Rumble
so annoying. Ghost Hail of Blades active for Kellen.
Get an advantage here, obviously, if there's a Maokai gank and Rumble falls behind.
Orb early just to get brush control so you can pop out and keep just being a douche.
The Tristana with small advantages early aren't going to be enough to win you the game. So at least Keen can suss out pretty early that he can continue to put this pressure on heavily and try to get some advantages there on the top side.
See whether he can make this one happen. So far, so good for Dplus. The Ashe Varus lane is where I'm really focusing because that does need to get the advantages early on. And so far, you know, ahead by a wave and a half feels pretty good at 2.5 minutes. And Kingen will get shoved in. I think that that is a product of both the players and the matchup. We'll see whether Kingen can find a bit of better luck as the game goes on. I think that, you know, getting caught on that flank after the amount of posturing that was happening, it's not going to make him feel good. I don't think that the entire game hinged around him necessarily in his decisions, because a lot of those flank calls are not just one person.
This is the Milio and Lucian specifically. This lane is we're watching it in real time. That was a graphic coming up.
Yeah, really, calls are not just one person.
This is
6-0, Milio and Lucian.
Specifically, this lane is we're watching it.
I mean, it feels pretty good to have the Milio into both Ashe ult and Varus ult, right? And Maokai ult. Like, the Milio has crazy value here. It was taken because they saw the Maokai pick, but now you got additional, some pretty big additional value.
Last week, so this week has been not so great.
I actually think we shouldn't draw too many conclusions about the Azir, because this was picked in a more stable draft here. And, you know, a lot of the losses we've seen on Azir, you see some of those names are like crutch Azir players who first pick it every game because it's one of the only champions they're comfortable on right now in this meta. I'm not going to name any names, but you could look at the list and suss it out.
Okay.
And I think that this is a more safe place for the Azir. I'm not worried about this loss streak at all in terms of what it means for this composition. But Tristana obviously can buffer. Very real.
I think perhaps Kingen cares because
oh my god.
As Lucid is on a ward. He is. I don't know if he cares.
Just the solo for First Blood casually. What is Aatrox doing? Like, what is Kingen doing? He knows that Rumble has Ignite, right? He knows Rumble has Ignite, right? Flashes the chains. Okay.
That's a solo kill once again. Oh, Kingen really not having a great week this week.
He's certainly not. And you know what? I mean, when that vision allows Keen to know.
That's a solo kill.
Award.
He is.
I don't know if he cares.
Yep. And Lucid is very easily seen, so it's just a free all-in.
I think perhaps Keenan cares
Okay.
because Keen has killed him. That's a solo kill once again. Oh, Keenan really not having a great week this week.
He's certainly not. And you know what? I mean, when that vision allows Keen to know, hey, I just pushed for the kill.
So weird Kingen would just blind pick the Aatrox when he knows the Rumble is still up.
Does have rocket jump. Canyon gonna make his way in here as aiming completely out of mana. As Pays, he's got a
Okay, now you just lose bot lane too.
Aiming might be able to survive this, as he does get back to the proximity of his
Classic.
turret. And Lucid has pushed Chovy away, but that is all they've
Chovy
really
doesn't
been
even
able
have to use
respond
flash to get out.
For the first time this series, GenG off to a flying start and have an early advantage.
Some of the tightrope walk of this early game here for GenG is knowing that you can get dove by Maokai, you can get threatened by him if you're the pushing Rumble, but they always knew where he was in both of these plays. He's standing on a ward here. In this case, Kingen does not hit that Q here. And look at this Keen flash here at the last possible second. Takes him down with Ignite. That was a pretty easy, straightforward kill. Then again, guess who's showing? It's Lucid.
Lucid's on top side, ganking mid. His bot lane is pushed up.
That was a pretty easy, straightforward kill.
They have no vision, by the way. Dplus has no vision in Tribrush or in River.
In mid, so Canyon knows he can come down here for the punish. There's no mana here.
Now that gold lead that you got from having a massive like CS advantage is all gone. Now that Pays has a kill.
2 times Lucid is seen, and 2 times GenG pull the trigger.
Really beautifully done. Chovy also getting himself a little bit of help here from Lehens. Showmaker taking a bit of damage, but not too much. The mid lane, certainly one of our more even affairs. On the bottom side of the map, of course, GenG did need the help from Canyon. Still aiming does have that advantage, but a lot of the pressure has now been alleviated with that gank working out so successfully. Noonquiver now done. World Atlas picked up here for both members of the bottom lane on GenG's side. Aiming just looking to try and string some of these items together and make this Varus work. He has been a bit of a Varus guy in the past.
Yeah.
Something that he has very much enjoyed.
If you compare, he's just going to be ready to hit those etc. that we've talked so much about. And yeah, 1 kill onto Kellen isn't going to relieve the pressure enough. Unfortunately here for Pays on Lehens, this is still going to be a little bit of a struggle street down here. But as you say, picking up that gold makes it feel a lot better.
Yeah, certainly does. Does get the kill himself. Of course, you saw Canyon not be able to take aiming out, who does have both of his summoner spells. Kellen, same thing. Both his Ghost and his Flash up and available. As, of course, you saw Canyon not be able to take aiming out.
All right, so they see Varus peel off right there.
Same thing. Both his Ghost and his Flash up and available.
They know that he's going to... Okay, so Pays going to try and get some damage onto Kellen.
You can see with the Hail of Blades, Kellen just trying to keep Pays in position.
So
a lot of
annoying.
damage going down. There's the piercing arrow as well as Lucid moves over. That's why GenG can't go for any sort of re-engage.
It's insane how oppressive Ashe is. If you don't have kill pressure on her very quickly...
Canyon coming down the Sejuani now.
Just every time. It's just the
He's just checking to see if they're doing Drake. They are not.
Lucid has 6 now, by the way. And that
I like how Canyon's like, oh, you know what? They're not doing Drake, so I'm just going to leave. Good luck, guys.
Flash Twisted Advance comes in. Pays. Oh, he's just taken out. And Lucid, he hit level 6 and immediately puts that thing on cooldown.
Canyon just left about to dry. Look at this.
Very quickly. If those slows come through, you're burning a summoner.
Look at Zeech's checks right there. He's like, oh, they're not there.
It's the rules of Ashe. Like, you have to...
Despite the fact that they could be waiting to dive at any time, and that Lucid just hit 6.
Oh, no. Flash Twisted Advance comes in. Pays. Oh, he's just
Nice
taken
job.
out. And Lucid, he hit level 6 and immediately
What kind
puts
of
that
pizza
thing on
do you
cooldown.
want? My wife asks.
Pays went right into
Whatever
his,
you want.
His Twisted Advance range there. The ultimate is there for good measure, keeping Lehens away. He doesn't even have 6.
Apparently,
maybe
she's ordering
he can
pizza.
Get, the Lucian away, maybe he can flash out. But
I like all
not to
pizzas.
happen in this case, Keen also just gonna
Dude,
take one
sweet
of these
potato
runs
pizza in
here
Korea
on the
actually
top
is
side of
good.
the map, but
Just not the
huge
corn.
wins
No
here for
corn.
Dplus here, counterwise after what was
Yes,
a
yes,
bit of a
but
rough
to
start.
potentially sweet
Keen's gonna pick up
potatoes.
some of this money here, continue
No
his
to
advantage,
corn.
and that can
It's
help him
sweet
push charts
potatoes,
later on with
koguma.
the rest of his team. Chovy always what the
Get some
Draconics
chicken
want
too,
as
please.
many grubs as possible, but this is just Pays dashes this way. Oops, there's a big old tree in that brush, and ult there just for good measure, but probably not even required, to be honest.
Well, Canyon gets over the wall here. And is going to be able to just grab himself the dragon. So you
Court on
mentioned
pizza
Grub
ain't
was
that
taken
bad.
there by
Okay.
King.
I'm sorry,
Two objectives
Vanadar.
in the
You
hands
need to
of
go in
GenG
timeout.
once again. But the gold gap is closing just a little. As Dplus
That's
being able to
that's
find
not
some
an
more
that's not an acceptable opinion here.
relentlessly here is Kellen getting vision down. That's exactly what this Sejuani is up to. As Showmaker looks for an Emperor's Divide, he does find it. Good buffer there from Chovy to avoid the displacement. But now Kellen's here. He finds the frost shot with the volley, and now aiming is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Immediate dash forward as soon as he's seen. As
Elote pizza is different, guys. This is like canned corn. It's garbage.
Very
Kellen
brave.
hit 6-2 just now. I was tracking that because I was like, man, if Chovy's going back in and Kellen hits that ultimate, that is just the end of Chovy's life. He'll have to flash the arrow at least, but doesn't hit it fast enough, unfortunately, for Dplus.
Oh, Pays is on a wood. There is an arrow. But Kellen not going to show himself, and Pays continuing to move.
Lucid has his ult back. I mean, this could be a problem, not for now, but in maybe 20, 30 seconds time that Pays is going to have here. Obviously, cleanseless. Emilio does have 6 if Lehens
They
gets
sell
back
fresh
to
boiled
lane.
hot corn on the
They're gonna
street.
park
Yeah,
the
that's
mid lane.
fine.
I mean, they
Street
have
corn's
control in
awesome.
This river, and this is just always a permanent threat, and Pays just can't really farm. He's 20 CS down. Lands is going to spot the bad news, and the Pays just has to huddle under this turret.
Yeah, not going to be able to move up. Let's have that cozy campfire, can offer some warm hugs and things like that, but the arrow is going to connect. And Chains of Corruption lands as well. They just wanted the ultimate. They'll trade 2 for it. That makes Pays so much more susceptible now, though.
I mean, this is just more camping bot side by Dplus, like every game. Wow, what a great engage.
Trovy's going to pick it up with a buster shot now. The Nature's Grasp in this
Milio has ult? Milio does not have ult.
Aiming, taking a fair bit of culling damage, and Lehens is able to keep Lucid at bay. That fire kick going to pick it up with a. That makes Pays so much more susceptible now, though.
This is actually so funny.
Showmaker
Showmaker is actually the most unsuspecting here.
is moving in, but Canyon, he's
What great timing.
prison of his own, and Chovy's going to pick it up with a buster shot now. The Nature's Grasp in this bottom side, aiming, taking a fair bit of culling damage, and Lehens is able to keep Lucid at bay. That fire kick working so nicely, and they do manage to stave them off. GenG
Yeah, Milio must have, I agree. Milio ulted Arrow and Chains of Corruption.
side, and the aggression in mid.
That was so fantastically down. They're able to stave that off and really well.
Meanwhile,
That
Keen
felt
just
a lot
casually
of weight.
clapping King in the top side.
It's really easy. Cannon calls out to play for the mid, and look at how fast he just flash ults there and just calling out sums. And even just has to.
Showmaker's so expressive. It's so funny.
Sedge doesn't have ult.
Sedge no ult.
That's because Showmaker's screen is now a little bit dark. And I don't know, Wolf. Maybe
Well, I watched yesterday's
Showmaker's
Carmine Cord
trying to
Maxter
pull
class
back
tomorrow. We'll watch some.
the
We'll watch
CE
some
win
garbage
rate
tomorrow.
Just a little bit, but it is worrying when we have seen so much negativity towards this particular pick. I agree with you. I don't think it's necessarily all about the Azir, but the vibes. It's not the greatest. As now Chovy not in the greatest position either. Chains of Corruption will connect, but Chovy able to get the flash for the arrow. That means that he is going to be okay. Good buffer of the rocket jump as well to absorb.
Match of the weekend LCK. Yeah, I have to watch the HLAT1 match tonight so that I'm caught up on LCK games by tomorrow when we do the Monty and Wolf show. And then we'll see if the one tonight is good enough for a VOD review tomorrow. I will have seen it already. And then we'll get into some LEC and LCS tomorrow.
You know, the Varus Ashe had so much control, and yes, Pays still has a deficit here in terms of the CS top side. And once again, GenG just ruling every aspect of this rift because there hasn't been any way to relieve the pressure on that Rumble. And the pressure
Just casually knows that one. I love Chovy. Just casually knows that one auto attack with the grub true damage on the turret. Oh, 2 with the explosive shot and those minions. Just enough. Just enough to get that plate.
Kind of came up empty, and mid is starting to be an issue.
Just parked here, right? Chovy has been delivering in minion waves. He's been dealing with them and then rinse and repeat. So he hasn't been able to get out and try and find some of these divides.
The Merc tread value. Thank you, Chovy, for building correct as his. Yeah, dude. The Merc tread value is out of control this game. Varus ult, Ashe ult, damage, Maokai ult, Maokai W, damage from
this Emperor's Divide used
Azir.
to great effect.
It's crazy.
And probably sooner than Dplus would
Merc
otherwise
treads for
like.
everybody.
Often with compositions like this that have really oppressive bot
Canyon
lanes, they
hates
wanna
shoes,
stand
apparently.
on the phase. But I think getting Shogun
Finishes
against
Frozen
Arrow
Heart
lane
before
is
actually
sounds like
building
a
any
positive
boots.
move to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's going to be pretty impactful in this team fight if they do go for the contest, but he's just so split, and Chovy is so...
Whoa, that's an equalizer, and they're going to get a flash from Lucid, and immediately Keen's flashing after him. Is that the Huni request amount of aggression there? Is all right.
Oh, sexy! Another sexy ult from Canyon.
That will be the Cloud Soul announcement, and GenG erupting onto the Rift alongside. Right, there's a fade away from Canyon. Kellen is just going to get culled. That will be the Cloud Soul announcement, and GenG get culled.
Where was the Chain of Corruption? Oh, it hits them. That's why Emilio comes through. Very nice.
That will be the Cloud Soul announcement, and GenG erupting onto the Rift alongside it. 4-1. The kill score now approaching.
Kind of surprised we haven't seen a lot of Jin in Korea. Yeah, I think Jin is pretty good. It seems like something that T1 will do at some point.
But, I mean, this is everything on lock again for GenG. Is Keen.
He knows Keen doesn't have ult.
So I guess there's that. Teleport's coming down.
Nice TP response.
Will run the
Oh, Chovy doesn't actually get hit by Maokai ult.
For the Rumble, they'll get that kill first. Chovy not able to answer back. 3 versus 2, and Dplus on the board here.
Yeah, no teleport for Chovy now either, so they get that out of him and relieve some of that pressure, but it doesn't stop anything from going down bottom side, you know, and see if they can kill Chovy.
Yeah, Twisted Advance does come forward. Emperor's Divide is going to be used, and then immediately follows up.
Nice.
As well. Chovy, though, able to get the reset, jumps away.
Nice reset.
Cucumber, he's continuing to farm.
I mean, this is immaculate play from Chovy with these buffers. You know, we mentioned earlier, I was like, you know, it's one good set down bottom side, you know, and see if they can kill Chovy.
Yeah, Twisted
Buffers Twisted Advance to get away. Explosive shot onto his ear. Ults his ear. Gets W reset. And then pieces out. Chovy, this is why he gets the Trist banned against him all the time.
I mean, this is just
Cucumber, he's continuing to farm.
I mean, this is immaculate play from Chovy with these buffers. You know, we mentioned earlier, I was like, you know, it's the one good thing about this matchup is you can kind of buffer the ultimate there from the Azir. It doesn't always happen. It's pretty tough to do, but Chovy has been one of the better players at doing that, right? He is just buffering whatever is coming. Get that initial pick there onto Keen, but it's at a heavy cost, and the bottom lane is just wide open.
The blind through the pink worded brush.
He's like, okay, they were hoping for a contest, you know.
Nice, very nice.
And then Chovy on the follow-up will have to speed it up, or maybe we'll skip it.
Yeah, I think we're going to do the skip it thing because there could be a Herald fight as Lucid can move on over. Arrow will connect onto the Melio.
Melio still has ult.
Down as well, but immediately Canyon is pushed back by that Bramble Smash. The Herald
Why does he Melio ult?
but immediately Canyon is pushed back by that Bramble Smash.
I guess he just Melio ults for Canyon here. Yeah. Blocks it. Good job by Lehens. The Kingen cannot walk into that choke point. Nope. And now Rumble ult is here, and now Chovy gets a million resets. Kingen, why are you walking into that choke?
He's going to be taken down, although did make use of that lance pretty effectively. I believe the Sundered Sky gave him a fair bit of that health back, but he is also just Aatrox, but he does have the item.
Win or lose, man, I don't think Kingen is having a happy ride home in the Dplus Kyo. Far away from his squad, flashed into the equalizer, just knows he's dead. And it's going to be GenG winning.
Really bad from Kingen. You can't play into a choke like that.
What are you going to do in this situation here as Dplus? You don't really have any way.
There's no follow-up on the arrow, so the arrow gets used. Even if there was, there's bone plating. Maokai ult comes down, then you get Melio ult to free Canyon. He blocks for pays. Kingen walks into this. There's no chance for a follow-up. You don't have Chains of Corruption. When was Chains of Corruption used?
What are you going to do in this situation here as Dplus? You don't really have any way to...
It was used onto Melio as well. So actually it actually doesn't land onto either player. And then so you use 3 ults and they were just canceled by a Melio ult. You have no additional forms of engage. Kingen is walking in here. Rumble has time to get up and you can just split the team. Great Rumble ult. Very good Rumble ult.
Dplus just nowhere near to follow up on this.
The Emilio just cucks them entirely.
Synergy problems that this roster has early on in the season here showing. I think, you know, there's been some great moments, but this was not one of them.
No, not quite. Just feels a little bit like Kingan's getting too much joy. But can Lucid and Showmaker survive this?
I mean, they chose this. They wanted this. They blind picked the Aatrox instead of the Rumble.
You gotta know that turret is dead, and you gotta.
What the fuck? Wait, there's 2 of them in there?
You gotta know that turret is dead, and you gotta.
Wait, and it kills the whole turret? What? It kills the whole turret and you get 2 of them in there? Riot, please. Okay, of course there's a pause. Whatever, it doesn't matter. GenG should just let him have it.
The Honey I Shrunk the
That is funny, though.
The initial Herald charge
at home
would like your chrono break.
Like Doran saying, "Where is my static shift?" And then the
Do they chrono break it?
longer to end the point.
It does half the turret's damage.
All right, that's fair. Okay, no, that's actually really good because there's no action happening there. You can just chrono break it, charge it for half the turret, and you're fine. That's reasonable.
An extra one in there, and it is just going to be the usual situation. So now, back in the game, Lucid is he's going to take a little bit longer to end the pause, but he'll be back pretty soon as well.
It looked like an accident. It looked like 2 of them just tried to click it at the same time, and Riot's spaghetti code allowed them to both get into the Herald. And then apparently the Herald damage to turret is like coded by how many champions are in there, or it like does damage if there's a champion. So if there's so I think Herald, because it does more damage if there's a champion inside of it. If you have 2 champions inside of it, I guess it doesn't cap the damage at 1 champion, so it just sees 2 champions inside and just does double damage.
And blow them up. Even the tanky Maokai is not really going to be an issue for him because he's ahead of the clock in terms of where
But reasonable chrono break.
That range thing that we're talking about, he's ahead of the clock on that one as well.
The question is, how many people can you get inside a Herald?
Is starting to stack up. He's only got 5 more levels to go.
Yeah.
He will have the highest range in the game.
It's insane, like what the implications.
I think Herald actually split it. Looked like 2 Heralds were charging. Oh, that's a good point. Vanadar.
So ahead because they hit all of the benchmarks. There's no longer a. But well, what if? No,
Yeah, it could have been that there were like 2 Heralds on the same location because it was like flipping out.
The rest of this game, and there are some agency. There's some agency that Dplus has, right?
Who could know though? Who knows how the code works?
With Chains of Corruption, you have, maybe an amazing play from Showmaker, right? But he is not in the state where he's going to be bursting people down just yet. So,
well, wanting to get. Probably an arrow. He's going to connect Equalizer. Kingan takes a walk down the red carpet as Canyon walks over a ward, but I think Kingan kind of knows what his fate is here. Infernal Chains will connect.
Let's waste TP.
The Glacial Prison does come down, and he's still alive. And now Kingan.
Oh, Keen doesn't have ult. Oh, I thought Keen had ult. Never mind. Lol.
Collects that kill. His first of the game. I had a feeling that Kingan was going to die there, but bought enough time. Summon Sky works out very nicely. Changing up the build, actually, so it's not the fully lethality style of Aatrox, a much more burly version, and working out.
He didn't have Leandri's Keen in that fight. He's completed it now. That would have been a lot of additional damage there throughout that fight, burning through that health bar. And the lifeline did pop there for Kingan as well on his Hex Drinker. So he's able to live long enough, and then Canyon's just like, miscalculation, I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to abandon ship. And just walks away. And this is one small step back into this game potentially here as Kingan will actually take a gold lead here, 200 over the Rumble after what was such a rough start. But again, the 2,000 gold lead nearly that Chovy has right now is the bigger issue. It's sticking out like a sore thumb there on the graph as a turnaround kill onto Keen is the first step of many. Plus one.
Emily Tacular, welcome back.
But like you say,
thank you once more for your subscription.
Explode Chovy, then there are some options here. But Paze is still another threat, as we can see right here. Lucid has to flash, but the Flame Spitter is still coming out the color.
Oh my god. Paze too good, landing the entire culling.
You can see Showmaker able to get out there.
And now we Baron.
Lucid here, there's no Showmaker ult, so what can you do? You have no options here. You just have to let this one go. TP even committed here to just try to defend this turret. They could just rotate over to mid and stop aiming from getting this one. It's just healthy enough. Okay, Kingan's here. Maybe they actually do get this one and get out, but still, huge win here for GenG. Just denying
from coming on forward. Recall, but that is not really going to help him. The rest of his team has turned up first. The Showmaker comes on in. Pays standing his ground though. Sundisk coming on through. Good knock up there onto Keen, but he breaks the chains. Lucid has turned up once.
The Swifties actually allow Keen to get out of the chains there.
For now, and Chovy, he's found another spare lane. Team fighting.
Yeah, they have the Baron just in time to like get Cloud Soul in 40 seconds.
Not enough to stop Hayes over the wall. He has to get out. So now Showmaker doesn't have ult. You don't have Lucid.
Cloud Soul pretty good with Sejuani and the Rumble.
Walk their way out. Neither bottom laner has to flash in the exchange. That they can even consider
is the ability to check things. They have Hawkshot, they have...
I mean, for what it's worth, they are playing around lack of Rumble TP relatively well, right? Like collapsing onto the Rumble, using their TPs in order to do that, so they still have one TP up.
They're taking everything. Again,
Captain Jack going to be proud. I believe he's... We know. Yeah. Well, Arrow is going to connect onto Lehens, who
Kales.
No, yep.
Clean.
Very, very
wow.
Good. Jack going to be proud. I believe he's here today.
That was like perfect.
Desk with Helios.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, that's another turret down, and this Tristana, who has 3 Void Grubs and 2.5 items, soon to be 3, just says goodbye to turrets when she starts hitting them. They disappear. Indeed. Dplus might.
My casting is so good. Well, thank you.
It will give them pause.
There's a. I like the LCK casting team is really good right now, though.
Another like crazy Rift Herald. Oh no, wait, it's just Tristana at level 16 here at 25 minutes with almost 300 CS at 25 and a half minutes. Rookern done here by Canyon as well. He's getting tankier and tankier. That's sort of the sweet spot of items for the tanks. As Lucid once again, oh no, having to walk over this.
Lucid's just getting cold constantly.
Keen's the one that locks down that kill in the end. Kellen's burning is so far in the past now. GenG with all of the control. Had to be a reverse sweep, but man, they made this last one look very convincing. Kingen? Yeah, Keen is actually going to get pulled back, but it is a really good Glacial Prison to stop Kingen from doing too much more. He's able to take a fair bit of damage, but not quite enough. He gets Buster Shotted away. That is actually to his benefit. And they're able to save their inhibitor, at least for...
And then if you want to see this irrelevant sense of purpose, basically off with the advantage.
They are headed towards now as well.
Very boring closeout to this game, unfortunately. It hasn't been competitive in a while.
As Pace presses all of the buttons. And then McKenzie not just there anyway.
Listen, you're actually saying out loud everything Lehens just said.
The price of one. As Pace presses all of the buttons. Here, a little bit dire for Dplus. Their Nexus is still there. It has not been destroyed. The arrow is going to almost connect as Pace presses all of the buttons.
Scared his ultimate out of him.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Small advantages, Atlas. Small advantages.
Do you miss me in Doa days? Well,
there you go.
Big Daddy Al, you don't have to. Doa and I do a show where we talk about movies and TV. Here it is in the chat right now. Last Free Nation Culture, Nerd Legion. Go watch it. You don't have to miss me in Doa. It's not mandatory. We still do stuff. And let's be honest, you really just wanted to hear us talk about Star Wars anyway, not League of Legends.
Finds an infernal chains. In comes Canyon once again, but there's the flash twisted event. Have they found him?
Man, Lucid's engages are really good. It's just too bad they're so far behind.
But immediately he is dead,
and Bilio is in the game.
Playing Mario, and he's dodging all of them. The Goombas could not find him. And he's able to now take down a Sundisk. He's back to doing what he really wants to do. Showmaker a fair bit of auto-attack damage, but it's not going to quite be enough. Him and aiming do get through Keen, but that is the only reward that they will find.
Yeah, Showmaker
it was the best part of watching Champion. Second was the games. Well, yeah, now you just get the best part.
Game, the push to kill the Nexus.
I do like the thumbs up from aiming, saying Lehens.
So go subscribe to Last Free Nation Culture
even hit him with the piercing arrow.
on YouTube.
Very kind to his ex-teammate. Is going to melt Kellen. He's almost distracted.
Oh, poor Lucid.
Lucid here to not kill the Nexus, but He's back to doing what he needs to do, and there it is. GenG will take.
All right, a little bit ropey there. I mean, GenG did almost lose this series through some stupid mistakes in game number 2, and I really like Dplus's draft in game number 1, but wasn't enough to actually get it done.